Welcome back to the GTN Show.
120 Ironmans in 120 days. Imagine how his legs feel now.
Yeah. And Gustav Iden is still on his way back.
And Ironman have announced the Women's Ironman World Championship start list. Oh, James, I spotted this on social media over the weekend. Brockley, which is an area in London that Alex Yee comes from, have remade or kind of redesigned the sign that goes under one of the railway bridges. And Brock Yee.
Oh,
pretty cool.
Not renamed the whole place, have they?
Well, yeah.
Is this Alex Yee's handiwork? Did he go and do this himself with a
pretty smart,
bucket of yellow paint?
Imagine. I think after the last Olympics, actually, all they did was kind of made the O an Olympic medal. But this year they've upped the ante a little bit. It's by the artist Lionel Stanhope. And yeah, pretty cool with some pictures there with Alex in front of it. That's pretty neat, isn't it? Imagine having kind of signs made after you redesign.
Celebrating Olympic medalists from your area is great, yeah. This one from Hayden Wilde, he borrowed Patrick Lange's bike for a week. Yeah, his Roth winning bike.
Blimey.
Yeah, he was apparently at a training camp, I think at the Red Bull headquarters, and needed a TT bike and couldn't take his own. So they're both Canyon athletes. Used Patrick Lange's.
I'd like to think Canyon could sort him out of a bike, but maybe Canyon did, and he was like, no, I actually want Patrick's winning
Or
bike.
they did, and they sorted him out with Patrick Lange's bike, and Patrick Lange had no idea about it.
Yeah, until the post comes up on Instagram. Also, sad news. Sam Laidlow posted this up last week, and they had a garage fire. He said after, worrying more about just keeping their pain cave safe and secure, the last thing they'd kind of worried about is electrical fires, and says that fortunately they're all fine, but can't say the same for the motorbikes, turbo trainers, and bikes.
Well, I mean, to be honest, that's a happy ending. It's just stuff.
Yeah,
right. It's all replaceable. No one was hurt. Everyone got out just fine. And some motorbikes got damaged, some bikes got damaged, some trainers got damaged, but everyone was out fine.
Yeah.
Could be worse. Remember that when you're building those pain caves, stay safe. And then we noticed this one, Morgan Pearson. She's down for a half marathon in Valencia.
It's a speedy half marathon.
It's a speedy half marathon. To be fair, though, just to get on that list is pretty impressive. So Morgan Pearson is on the start list, and they've got the PBs, the personal bests of all the people on the start list, all the elite men on the start list. And Morgan Pearson is on there with a 1:01:47.
That is phenomenal. I knew he had a fast half marathon, but that is
flying. Yeah.
Blimey.
Unfortunately, there's a few other people on that start list who have slightly faster half marathons.
57:41.
Kajalcha with the 57:41 and Barrega with the 57:50 also on the start list. So I'm not sure he's going to win this one, but maybe he can improve on that 1:01 that he's
amazing
got.
to be in the mix of them and on that sort of start
Very
list.
impressive.
And hopefully we will be in Valencia, or one of us will be as well. So watch the space. And finally, I know this isn't triathlon, but it caught both our eyes. Ahead of the Diamond League event, track and field event of the weekend, they had sort of this spectacle between Karsten, Warholm and Mundo Duplantis, 100-metre all-out race, winner takes all.
Little friendly wager between the two of them. Obviously a pole vaulter and a 400-metre specialist who's fastest over 100 metres.
I mean...
And the loser had to wear the other person's country kit for the following day's Diamond League competition.
I would have absolutely, of just a 400-metre hurdler, absolutely. He's got this 100-metre sprint. He knows how to do a track start, all those little things like that.
Yeah, you would think so. You would be wrong.
Nope.
Mondo Duplantis did win that in a very impressive 10:37, which is
insane.
Flying really fast. Unfortunately, although Karsten Warholm did put on the Swedish kit for an interview afterwards, he didn't actually compete the following day in the Swedish kit in the Diamond League because he pulled out with a niggle, potentially an injury, potentially a season-ending injury in that 100 metres. But he says he doesn't regret having the competition and doing the 100-metre dash. So,
I mean, just think if Mondo actually starts practicing track starts and all sorts of stuff.
Well, to be fair, Mondo did go ahead to win the pole vault the following day, so I think he's got it sorted with his
I don't think he needs,
world records. I think he's okay. All right, if you missed the news in the last week, Jonas Deichmann finished his challenge. The 120 iron distance triathlons in 120 days. Yep, we interviewed him halfway through back when I was out in Roth in July when he was on days 59 and 60. And he carried on going for another 60 days, finished 120, breaking Sean Conway's world record of 105 in 105 days that he set last year. And I think this record might be out of reach for some time.
Like, tot up the total distances here. 456 kilometres of swimming, 21,600 kilometres of cycling, and over 5,000 kilometres of running.
I mean, those numbers are hard to wrap your head around, but the thing that I found from interviewing him and spending the day with him, the challenging part of this is that when you finish that marathon, you've got about 10 minutes to get your butt back to your hotel room or your accommodation, get into bed and eat something and get into bed so that you can get 7 hours of sleep. Before you wake up, you've got breakfast in the car on the way to the start and you do it all again. 120 days in a row.
If you haven't watched this video that we're talking about, definitely give it a watch because it's so interesting, all the intricacies and how clockwork it is, all that stuff. As James says, it's not just the physical challenge, it's all the stuff around that, the logistics. And
no injuries, no illness for all of that time.
And it's for 120 days of just like...
unbelievable.
Yeah, really, really impressive.
Yeah.
Take a bow, Jonas, and your team because they're flipping impressive.
They're impressive. Yeah. What's the next one going to be, Mark, that we hear about?
Man, I was thinking about this. I mean, 120 is...
I think it's pretty far out of reach now.
Yeah, I think
I'm not sure anyone's going to even go for that now.
Yeah, rate Ratasippers out there going,
365 and 365, a whole year of Ironmans, yeah, maybe. No, probably not.
All right, moving on, as we round out the Paralympic Games, one of the para-triathletes, Lauren Steadman, a very successful para-triathlete, has announced her retirement.
Yeah, Lauren said, I think it's a good time to buy out when you're actually happy and have enjoyed something. So I love triathlon, I love riding my bike, but perhaps it's not to the performance standard that I'm normally at. She's from Peterborough, and she went on to say, the thing is, as athletes, we're so tunnel visioned and focused, I didn't prepare myself for what I'd feel like after. I wasn't sure I was going to return from a mental perspective. I found it really hard to navigate her return to this Olympics, and she said she's not sure she's going to do that again. So she is announcing her retirement.
Yeah. Well, she said, as I say, a very successful career, taking bronze from this year's Paralympics. So congratulations on an incredible career. Moving on then, as we get ready for the Ironman World Championships in Nice.
Take a deep breath. Mark's actually heading out at the end of this week.
I am, yeah. And then I'm going to be joined by...
a week of holiday on the beach in Nice before the work starts.
So I'm going to be heading out there a little bit earlier than James. James is going to be joining me towards the latter end of next week ahead of the race for all the excitement. But let's talk about the start list. Who's racing and who's not racing?
We are going to do a whole preview video at the end of this week where we're going to break down the course and everything else. But right now, let's just talk about the start list that has been announced. Taylor Knibb is not on that start list. She didn't get a wild card slot, which some people speculated she might get, and she also didn't validate her automatic qualifier spot, so she's not in. Sky Munch pulled out pregnant, so he's not racing. Daniela Reif retired not too long ago, so she's not racing now. And recently, Svenja Toos was actually hit by a car, so we wish her well on her recovery, but she won't be racing in Nice. But it does seem like we've got a pretty stacked field lined up. We just read out the numbers 1 to 10, and then we won't even go into the other 40 or so women.
Yeah, so first off, Lucy Charles-Barkley. We've also got Anna Haug, Laura Phillip, Chelsea Staro, Kat Matthews, Jackie Herring, Danielle Lewis, Alice Alberts, and Fenella Langridge.
To name a few.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many more as well.
As I say, we'll put out a preview video later this week where you can see all our predictions. Mark and I will put ourselves out there and actually make our own predictions so that we can be wrong and people can say afterwards how wrong we were. I reckon those top three are going to be the top three.
Yeah,
Charles Barkley, Haug and Phillip.
But as with last year, this is such an exciting course, seeing athletes racing over essentially a mountainous course. So,
and we've never seen the woman race on this course for the World Championships before. So, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, watch this space. Also, if you tuned in this weekend to GTN, you will have spotted my Berkeley Marathon's weird ultramarathon event that I took part in where I had to solve riddles and all sorts. And
the other Berkeley Marathon.
Yeah, the other one, not
the
the US one, the UK one. Still quite quirky, still quite weird. If you enjoyed it and you fancy a chance of maybe doing it, we are actually giving away 3 spots in collaboration with Gertlush Events, the organisers of the event. As I said in the video, they're a not-for-profit event, so all their money goes to charity, and they're giving away 3 spots. Now, if you fancy your chance of taking part, then we're going to drop a link in the description down below. Head on over to that link. It'll be an Instagram post where they want you to share your most embarrassing race story, and they're going to choose the 3 best, get in touch, and opportunity to enter the event. If you don't have an embarrassing story, then just get in touch and let them know how much you would like to do the event and maybe share the story.
Yeah, that is if you do want to do 5 marathons back to back in alternating directions, doing riddles all the time, so you can pull pages out of a book. So that, I mean, if you want to.
As crazy as the event is, and as I say in the video, there were people there, like myself, maybe trying to go after multiple laps or not that many. But anyway, and also some people that are just there like going, I just want to do 1 lap and have fun with my friends trying to unlock these boxes, get pages of the book. It was really cool.
It did look like quite a vibe.
Yeah.
And if you want to get involved, as Mark says, leave your most embarrassing race story on that post.
Yeah.
Now it's time for What the Tech. And Zwift has turned 10 years old.
Oh, yeah. That's flown by.
Has it? Feels like they've been around forever. And also it's flown by. Bit of both. Anyway, they've announced a whole bunch of upgrades, including their hardware and their software, starting with the Zwift Ride, which we featured not too long ago. That is their kind of indoor training bike. And previously you could only buy it with the kicker and the ride together. Now you can buy just the ride that can mount to any smart trainer. So there's a whole bunch of compatible trainers. It also has expanded its Zwift Click and its Zwift Cog, which are the virtual shifters, and also the cog that fits on a trainer, so you don't have to have a full cassette, to expand to more trainers. So now all of those things are available for the smart trainer you already have at home potentially, and you don't have to buy it all again new.
That is pretty cool. Also, they've updated the on-screen data displayed when riding, along with actually in November, they will be expanding the routes and roads
New
available.
roads to discover in Watopia. Yeah, and then there's also a few updates to the challenges, which are coming soon. And those challenges, obviously, once you tick them off, you get a whole bunch of drops and you can buy new bikes, of which there's also some new bikes that you can buy in the drop shop, including this really cool one, the Pinarello Espada, which definitely be cool to flash around Watopia on one of those.
Very cool, very cool. Talking of indoor training, Wattbike have also announced the release of a couple new bikes. So they've got the Proton and the Air, which will now go alongside their flagship Atom. So the Proton, I guess, is their more sort of family-friendly bike that can be easily adjustable. If multiple users are jumping on, you just quickly change the geometry and whatnot of the bike. And then the Air is focused more on those getting stuck into kind of HIIT workouts and things like that. So
what makes you think winter's coming when our What the Tech is all about indoor training?
Now for the race news, starting with, I guess, a lesser-known event. It's a Gérardmer XL, but it always gets some high-caliber athletes doing it.
Lesser known outside of France, I think, but
probably
it's one of the originals, one of the old school original long distance triathlons, and it's pretty famous and pretty tough course too. I've done it back in the day. It was awesome. It was very wet though. This year it was won by Lana Safet from Switzerland with an incredibly fast bike split of 2 hours 53, putting 5 minutes into Ash Gentle.
So even though Ash Gentle had the fastest run split of the day at 1:20, 3 minutes quicker than us, it wasn't enough.
Wasn't enough. I mean, I don't know what to say on her form going into the T100 Ibiza, Ash Gentle. I mean, I guess she's doing a pretty hard training block around this race. She's clearly there and thereabouts, but she has been outbiked quite badly there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we won't draw too many
Also,
conclusions.
Nina Deron in third, so quite a podium there.
Sister of the Olympic medalist.
Yeah, on the men's side, Simon Vian taking the win there, ahead of Thomas Steger and Lewis Richard in third.
And then there was Challenge Beijing out in China, which possibly you've not heard of before and kind of is breaking the mold a little bit. Olympic distance, but non-drafting with a 20-meter draft zone and $20,000 for the win. And they flew out a pretty stacked field too for this. Apparently there were some parents' fees in there too, which kind of got the field there. But it looked like it was really close racing, really tight racing, really exciting racing, which, well, goes again to my argument that you can make Olympic distance non-drafting. And it's exciting. Keep more of this, please. Anyway, Carl Smith won on his birthday with a 1 hour 47. Mark Dubrick from the USA only 8 seconds behind him, and Henry Schumann from South Africa only another 15 seconds behind him. So really close racing there.
All entering that finish.
Despite not drafting. I'm just saying.
All entering the finish line. Do you see Carl Smith's crossing the finish line?
I didn't. Did he throw up again?
No. So it did look like it was slightly wet on the carpet, but also this chap in white forgot to let go of the tape, and so it kind of took Kyle out a little bit. But hey, all good. Wasn't too bad. On the women's side, Paula Findlay took the win there. She had quite a battle with Lucy Byram, who managed to cling off the second, and Julie Deron taking third. Yep,
very impressive. Although I will point out that it went the way of the long course athletes there, didn't it? Took the drafting out of the bike.
True.
And you've got Carl Smith, the long course athlete, and you've got Paula Findlay and Lucy Byram, long course athletes, ahead of Julie Deron and Henry Schumann, the short course athletes.
I don't want to point out the obvious, but that's what they train for.
Well, yeah.
On the bikes that they train on. But anyway.
But it's a short distance. It's only a 10K run.
I know you're trying to prove that Olympic distance non-drafting is the way forward, and we should be doing that in the Olympics. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I thought you were going down this road. Yeah.
You took you a while to get that one.
Well, no, I was trying to ignore you, but I'm having none of it. Right. Also, this weekend we had Supertri. This time over in London.
Yeah, very exciting racing again. Same format for all of them. This time it's the enduro, so it's 3 triathlons back to back, 9 legs of a triathlon. Swim, bike, run, swim, bike, run, swim, bike, run. And it was a little bit wet on the roads, but it didn't actually rain too much for the women's race. Georgia Taylor-Brown taking the sprint finish there ahead of Cassandra Begond. It looked like Cassandra Begond was going to out-sprint her. She came flying up behind her, but Georgia found just that extra gear, just at the right nick of time to take the winner. And Gian Lahair was in 3rd, Taylor Spivey in 4th, and Emma Lombardi in 5th.
Right. On the men's side, it was Alex Yee, home favourite, that was sort of hoping to make a bit of a comeback after not such a good performance in the last one. But he didn't really feature at all.
No.
Again, Hayden Wilde, again, taking the win there ahead of Matt Hauser in 2nd, Leo Berger in 3rd, Kenji Nina in 4th, and Seth Ryder in 5th.
Yeah, Alex Yee wasn't quite there. He did say afterwards he's a little bit mentally fatigued, which I guess you could probably understand, considering he just won Olympic gold and went through all of that hype and pomp and ceremony.
I mean, just all the media stuff after that as well.
Should probably also point out that there are 2 more WTCS races this season in Weihai in China, and then the grand final. So watching the form, some people are still coming up in their form, and some people are really clinging by their fingernails to form after the Olympic Games. It's going to be interesting coming up to the final of the series, of the season.
Talking of form, actually, so we had Challenge Samarkand this weekend, which you took part in last year. The men's race, obviously very exciting because we had the Norwegians in there.
No surprise, Christian Blumenfeld took the win. But excitingly, 2nd place, Gustav Iden. He's back, sort of, nearly.
I think you can argue he pretty convincingly back, because Rico Bogan is a class athlete, and you've seen Rico Bogan at the front of the T100 events,
70.3 world champion,
and so to beat Rico Bogan, he's going well, I'd say.
Yeah, well, he's still got 7 weeks left until Kona in October. We'd love to see him competing at the pointy end of that one, but he is up against it time-wise. But it is good to see him back, although, to be fair, he did run like 3 minutes slower than...
Well, I was going to say, Christian is really on such good form. It's hard to look past him, along with a couple of others, for the Ironman World Championships in Kona, isn't it? Over on the women's side, it's won by Laura Madsen ahead of Marta Lagovnik and Justine Gourand.
Yeah, class of her own there, 10 minutes ahead of anyone else.
And it's time for Tri Spy. All right, last week we gave you this photo, some lovely golden locks.
Yeah, must be a Viking, surely.
Wow. Panzer Vep said, is it the GCN wig?
Oh, yeah, from our 80s triathlon. Yeah, good job with that, actually. That would have been a curveball that you would never have guessed. Well, yeah. GSY Drums also said, has to be Lucy Charles Barkley if you've not been sneaky this week.
Well, maybe we have. Angelus said, Mika Newt.
Oh, yeah. Ben Canute, Bankutip. Got me there. Said Elspissa. Another one for Mika Nurt. And then Benjamin Longshaw said Marjolaine Pierre. And we got quite a few. Blonde hair, 100%. The blonde locks of Marjolaine Pierre, said Ian Beasley. One athlete with golden locks like that, Marjolaine Pierre. Just try harder, Marjolaine Pierre. And then someone said, even Nano said, Marjolaine Pierre in the last PTO race, she came in dead last with her hair down by the end, and she had it up throughout the race. Well, that is very specific.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm not sure whether that's where the photo was from.
Very observant. No, I don't think it is from there. But yeah, anyway, here it is. This is the image, Marjolaine Pierre. But this week, this is your image. Do you reckon we've gone too hard, or?
No, I reckon they're going to get it.
Do you reckon?
I reckon they're going to get it.
It's just an ear.
There's a few clues in there, though, aren't there? Like the earring.
Or multiple earrings.
Take your guesses down below this. Try spy.
Say what?
Okay, some of the comments you guys have put below our videos. George W. GW said, I don't know why, but I always roll my eyes at the new shoe tech like the Pumas. This is what we featured last week on the show, the illegal ones. But a new Aero helmet comes out, and that saves me 3 watts, and I'm fascinated. Maybe it has to do with the very short lifespan of carbon shoes, whereas a helmet or bike I will upgrade will last years. Or maybe I'm starting to get into my old man yells at cloud stage. Who knows? It might be a bit of both there. I think there is the argument that the shoes are somewhat disposable or wearable, like they wear out, so it's hard to get excited about a few savings here and there, whereas a helmet, it doesn't wear out. Although someone else will come up with a new helmet in 6 months and you'll be like, well, that one's 3 watts faster, I have to get that one.
It's funny because I was reading an article earlier about the swimming world kind of up in arms around the new Speedo Laser 2.0 suits, or whatever they're called, Faskin's 2.0 suits, that were used at like the Olympic Games, and how they just feel it's a totally unfair advantage. And it's kind of this whole carbon shoe kind of topic again. And it's funny how some sports have accepted it to a degree and others have. I don't know. It's very interesting.
Does it erode the purity of the sport, or does it not? Cedric Grand Sane said, there aren't any rules on bikes in triathlon. Is there any for the shoes? Well, the answer to that is yes, there is. Although sometimes they're flexible. We mentioned this last week when we spoke about those ridiculous Puma shoes, which are absolutely, I think, 56 millimeter stack height and have 3 carbon plates in them. The shoe rules for almost all triathlons, Ironmans and World Triathlon sanctioned triathlons, are pretty standard. They fit the World Athletics shoe rules, so they just fall to those. And if the World Athletics ban them, they're banned also for triathlons. But somehow, for the last couple of years, the DTU, the German Triathlon Union, doesn't actually have it written down anywhere in their rule book that they follow those same shoe rules. And Challenge Roth has used this to their advantage to allow prototype shoes to be worn on that marathon run course. And that was what we were hinting at last week. So yes, triathlon does have shoe rules pretty much everywhere you go, Kona, etc. You will not see those Puma Nitro crazy shoes, but you may still see them next year at Roth. Maybe.
Yeah, so. Anyway, that is it for the show this week. As we said earlier, we have got the Ironman World Championships in Nice coming up, and we've got a Nice preview coming later this week for that. We are also heading out there, so lots of great content coming from that. But also coming up this weekend, quite excited about this one, we are going to be testing some brand new carbon running shoes, fresh out of the box, versus some old ones, and kind of looking at the economy difference.
See how much performance they do actually lose. Are they just as bad as those old EVA shoes? So if you're looking for something to watch right now, as we spoke about earlier, Mark did a crazy marathon challenge where he had to do riddles and he had to run. He was supposed to run all night, but he said something about a sore ankle and he stopped early. But it's still a really entertaining video. Mark has to solve riddles to get pages out of a book. It's nuts. Yeah, maybe I'll do it next year.